Hello, I'm Chris Fabra, and I'm the Web Content Manager for CFE Media and Technology. And I'm here today with Andrew Robling, the Principal Product Marketing Manager for Epicor Software. Andrew is going to be doing a webcast on July 13th called Get a Start on Industry 4.0 with an MES with built-in condition monitoring capabilities, which will be broadcast on the Plant Engineering website. Andrew is kind enough here to join me today to sort of highlight some of the themes he'll be talking about in the webcast, as well as some industry trends. Welcome, Andrew.
Hi, Chris. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll start off asking about, we're seeing a lot with Industry 4.0 and its role in manufacturing today and in the future. What role can a manufacturing execution system, an MES, play in the Industry 4.0 landscape?
Yeah, sure. So I think one of the things when you think about Industry 4.0 is one of the basic premises is using technology to gain a competitive advantage, right? So some of the technologies you see associated with Industry 4.0 would be things like the Internet of Things, obviously being a big one, big data, cyber physical systems, digital twin, edge computing. I think depending on where you look, there's a pretty extensive list of technologies that are associated with, Industry 4.0. And some of those technologies are actually found in MES solutions, like our Epicor has a solution called Advanced MES. So, for example, an MES solution might use IoT to automatically collect data from PLCs on the shop floor and collect data from IoT sensors, for example, temperature measurements or
Mhm.
pressure values, et cetera, out there. So that data then can be visualized by operators in real time and used to help pinpoint critical issues that are happening on the shop floor. And with that information, uh, companies can reduce their waste and improve efficiency and quality.
Now, sounds like a very valuable system to have on your manufacturing plant floor. So, kind of kicking off from that, can you briefly summarize what an advanced MES system can do that a regular MES may not have the capability of doing?
Yeah, sure. And really, when I say advanced MES, that's really the name of our MES product at Epicor.
Mhm.
However, yeah, I think there is a lot of differentiation between MES solutions out there. There's some that are very basic and they're simply connecting the machines and gathering the machine state and cycle time information and maybe visualizing some of that information, providing KPIs like overall equipment effectiveness, for example,
Mhm.
but they may not be able to do kind of other functions. So, I think of collecting information from sensors, like we talked about temperature readings and pressure readings, maybe vibration levels on machines, for example. Those kind of basic MES systems may not have built-in statistical process control and statistical quality control capabilities. So I think there's when you're talking about MES, there's different flavors. There's kind of the basic
Mhm.
ones, and then again, plus plus plus
Sure.
from a functionality standpoint.
So you mentioned statistical process control, and that's certainly a big factor for a lot of manufacturers. What are a few key ways statistical process control or SPC? How can that help manufacturers?
Yeah, so if you think about statistical process control, I think let's talk about not having statistical process control. First off, I think that if you don't have statistical process control, or I'm just going to refer to it as SPC, kind of moving forward in our
Hmm.
conversation,
Yeah.
you don't know, or you may not know there's a problem with the parts you're producing until later, maybe when a quality check happens, or even worse, the parts make it out of your facility. You don't know there's a problem. They make it to the customer. Maybe they get installed in an end user in the end, and now we're talking about a warranty claim, or we're talking about sending someone to the customer site to sort parts and kind of the expenses that might be associated with that. And ultimately that's going to affect our rating, with that customer supplier rating with them. So I think that's one area where SPC can really help, because you're really using it to automatically monitor conditions at the machine, and it alerts you as soon as something falls outside of acceptable process parameter out there. and then potentially even eject the part before it kind of makes it further down the chain, before it makes it out the door to your customers out there. So I think that's really important. And there's a lot of industries out there that are very demanding when it comes to compliance, right? So things
Hmm.
like med device being a good one, or automotive, for example. And you gotta conform to the standards that those customers are asking for,
Hmm.
and I think that's where SPC can really come into play and help gain the confidence of your customers and help you meet any requirements that they might have as well.
So you think in particular these industries, automotive, aerospace, medical device, very exacting, very demanding industries, and for good reason. You think they would benefit the most, or do you think anybody could benefit from advanced MES and SPC?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that the industries you mentioned are definitely ones where there's a lot of compliance, kind of regulations, et cetera, that you have to follow, where something like statistical process control can really help with. But I do think that there's value to SBC in any business out there, for sure. Not just those kind of high demanding kind of compliance ones, but I
Hmm.
think SPC can provide value throughout the organization.
So it definitely sounds like a lot of these technologies are kind of coming together and creating a new way or perhaps a better way of monitoring data and learning from this data.
Yeah.
And this has been happening in the last several years, and these are leading to some very interesting advances like the ones you described. Is there a future advance happening that you'd like to see, or is there one you think that will be happening or is already happening?
Yeah, I think there's one kind of already happening, and I guess it's becoming more and more prevalent and more and more useful, as it develops. But that would be AI, artificial intelligence, and
Hmm.
machine learning. We're really starting to see some interesting stuff around that. Within our Epicor solution, we're doing some basic things around machine learning today. Like, for example, trying to learn fault codes and things like that
Hmm.
that we're gathering from machines. But I can definitely envision that AI, ML kind of really playing a bigger role in the shop floor. So for example,
Yeah.
we were talking about statistical process control earlier. um, that could be an area where it comes into play, where maybe it's aggregating the data that the sensors are coming up with, and identifying trends, and identifying when the machine actually needs to have maintenance, kind of prior to there being a problem with that machine.
Yeah, it sounds like we're kind of in the early stages of all of this, but these stepping stones, after time, and especially, with AI and ML, the more it learns, the more data it gathers, the better it will be, and the better insights you'll be able to gather from all these systems.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts you'd like to impart before we let you go there, Andrew?
I don't think there's anything specific. I think you asked some good questions, and yeah, I appreciated our time together today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. So, Andrew Robling, the principal product marketing manager for Epicor, will be hosting a webcast on July 13th for Plant Engineering called Get a Start on Industry 4.0 with an MES with built-in condition monitoring capabilities. There will be a link to register for this webcast at the bottom of your description. And if you're reading this on the Plant Engineering website, there will be a link there as well. And if you're not able to register and attend, it will be on demand for 1 year post July 13th. So, but thank you again, Andrew, for joining me today, and appreciate your insights.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, and I'm Chris Favre, the web content manager for CFE Media Technology. Glad you were able to join us here today for this video interview with Andrew.